The rain had thinned to a cold mist by the time David Rourke pulled the engine to the shoulder. The wipers scraped over a windshield streaked with grime and road spray, and the scene ahead was lit only by his headlights and the flash of a passing semi. Dispatch had flagged the call as a single-vehicle rollover with possible entrapment. Rural road, limited visibility, zero detail. Typical. He stepped down onto soft gravel, boots sinking slightly. The air smelled of wet earth, hot coolant and something metallic that always tightened his chest a little. The pickup sat nose down in a shallow ditch, crumpled against the concrete lip of a culvert. Steam pushed through the twisted hood in slow white breaths. "Engine 5 on scene," he said into his radio. "One vehicle, heavy front-end damage. Beginning assessment. No response yet. The storm had knocked out cell service earlier, and radio traffic had been messy all night. A pileup on the highway had already absorbed most of the county's resources. He knew help would come, but he also knew it might take a while." David approached the driver's side. The window had shattered inward. Glass glittered over the seat like ice chips. A young woman sat behind the wheel, pinned forward by a dashboard that had folded inward on her legs. Her breathing was shallow, fast. Her face was pale except for the bruise forming across her cheekbone. "Ma'am," he said, keeping his voice steady. "I'm David. I'm with the fire department. Can you hear me?" Her eyes flickered open. They were unfocused at first, then locked onto him with a mix of fear and relief. I can't move," she whispered. "Don't try." He crouched beside the door, careful not to jostle anything. "You're stuck, but you're here. I'm right here." He checked for any signs of major bleeding. The cab was tight, metal bent inward like a vise. She was lucky the airbags had deployed. Even luckier, the truck hadn't rolled farther into the culvert. "What's your name?" he asked. "Lily." "Okay, Lily, I've got you. Rescue's on the way. I'm going to take a quick look at your breathing and your pulse." She nodded, jaw trembling. He reached in gently, finding her wrist beneath streaks of rain and dust. Her pulse was rapid but strong. Airways clear. No obvious chest deformities. Her legs, though, he didn't like the angle, and the pressure of the dash concerned him more. "Am I going to be okay?" she asked. David had been on hundreds of calls. Some ended with calm rides to the hospital. Some ended in silence. He never promised things he couldn't guarantee. "You're in rough shape," he said quietly. "But you're talking, and that's good. We're going to keep you stable until the rest of my crew gets here." Another crackle of static came over his radio, then nothing. He adjusted his position, kneeling in the wet grass so he could face her directly. The damp was already creeping into his knees, but he didn't move. Lily's breathing hitched. "Please don't leave. I'm not going anywhere." He reached through the broken window and took her hand. It was cold, trembling hard. She squeezed back with a surprising amount of strength, as though holding on was the only thing keeping her anchored. Cars passed occasionally, slowing but not stopping. Out here, people assumed the fire department had everything under control, and usually they did. Just not tonight. A drop of water fell from the cab roof onto Lily's cheek. She flinched, eyes squeezing shut. "It's just rain," he said. "You're okay." I thought it was blood." Her voice cracked and he felt her hand tighten around his. He'd seen that look before. The sudden panic when a patient realized they were trapped, alone except for the stranger leaning through the window. "Listen to me," he said. "We're in this together. I'll keep talking to you the whole time. You're not facing any of this by yourself." The mist thickened again, drifting through the headlights like smoke. David shifted slightly, keeping his grip steady. The minutes dragged, slow and heavy, as the distant wail of sirens stubbornly refused to appear. "Tell me what happened," he said, partly to keep her awake, partly to gauge her memory. "Came around the curve. Truck hydroplaned. I tried to correct, but..." Her eyes watered. "I'm so stupid." "No," he said. "Road's slick. Happens fast. Anyone could have ended up here." She swallowed, still breathing too fast. "I thought I was gonna die before anyone found me." "You're not dying tonight." It came out firmer than he expected, maybe too firm, but she needed it, and maybe he did too. Behind him, another semi hissed over the wet pavement. Still no sirens. The wait was just beginning. David checked his watch. 9 minutes since he had arrived. It already felt longer. Rain collected along his helmet brim and slid down the back of his collar, cold enough to make him shiver. He ignored it. Lily's breathing had steadied a little, but her grip hadn't loosened. Her knuckles pressed white against his glove. "You're doing good," he said. "I know it hurts, but you're hanging in." She nodded weakly, then winced as the movement tugged at whatever was trapped beneath the dashboard. He could see the pressure against her legs. Too much metal, not enough space. Even with tools, they were going to have a tough time cutting her free. She licked her lips. Can you tell me what time it is?" "Almost 8. He glanced back toward the road, still empty except for a few streaks of headlights. "Rescue should be clearing the highway in a bit. They'll get here." "What if they don't?" "They will." Her eyes were glassy, unfocused for a second. He squeezed her hand, steady and slow, the way he'd done with dozens of trapped patients over the years. Sometimes the physical contact was the only thing that cut through the fear. "Talk to me," she said. "Please, just something." "All right." He shifted to relieve the pressure on his knees. "Where were you headed tonight?" "Home. I worked late. I'm supposed to open the shop tomorrow morning." Her breath shook. "I don't think I'm gonna make it." "You'll make it," he said. "What kind of shop?" "Coffee. It's this small place downtown. I manage it for the owner." He nodded, even though she could barely see him in the dim light. "Bet you know everybody's order in town." She managed a fragile laugh. "Pretty much. Old guys want it strong enough to dissolve a spoon. Teenagers want drinks that taste like dessert." "Sounds about right." A gust of wind pushed mist into the cab. Lily flinched and tried to pull her free hand toward her chest but couldn't. "You cold?" he asked. She nodded faintly. He grabbed a thermal blanket from his medical bag, shook it open, and maneuvered it through the broken window. It wasn't ideal. He couldn't wrap her fully without moving her, but he draped what he could over her shoulders and upper chest. "Better?" "Yeah, thank you." Another burst of radio static broke through, then a partial voice. "Highway still blocked. ETA unclear." David pressed the transmit button. "Dispatch, this is Engine 5. I have a critical entrapment single patient. I need an updated ETA on rescue." The reply came back garbled, but one thing was clear. Help was still a long way out. He lowered the radio slowly. "All right," he said, mostly to himself. "We'll manage." Lily watched his face, searching it for something. He kept his expression steady. Calm mattered. Panic spread fast on a scene like this. "Tell me about you," she said softly, maybe trying to distract herself. He hesitated. He didn't usually talk about himself on calls, but keeping her alert mattered more than habit. "Well," he said, "I've been doing this 20 years. Started as a volunteer, worked my way up, figured I'd stay a couple years and move on. Then a couple years turned into a career." "Why'd you stay?" He thought about it. The real answer was complicated. A mix of adrenaline, purpose, and the strange, quiet satisfaction of being the one person who showed up on the worst day of someone's life. But he gave her the simpler version. "I guess I just never found anything that felt as important." She absorbed that, her eyelids drooping slightly. He squeezed her hand again. "Hey," he said, "stay with me." She blinked hard. "Sorry, just tired." "I know, but you gotta keep your eyes open for me." She nodded, but her grip weakened for the first time. He felt it immediately, her pulse a little slower, her skin colder. "Lily," he said, leaning closer, "tell me something about your family." She took a shallow breath. "My sister lives in Iowa. My mom's in Arizona. We talk a lot. They don't know I was working late tonight." Her voice cracked. "They're gonna freak out." "First thing we do when you're out of here," he said. "We'll get your phone and call them." She nodded, but her eyes were wet. He saw the fear creeping back in. Another set of headlights slowed as it passed, splashing through a puddle. Still nothing behind it. David's knees ached. His back burned from holding one position too long, but he didn't let go of her hand. He couldn't. "I'm scared," she whispered. "I know," he said, "but you're not alone. I'm right here the whole time." She looked at him, studying his face like it was the only steady thing in the spinning world around her. "Don't let go." "I won't." A long minute passed, then another. The mist thickened, drifting like a veil across the scene. The only sounds were the light hiss of rain, Lily's uneven breaths, and the steady rumble of engines passing far too fast. She swallowed. "How much longer?" "Not long," he said. He hoped it was true, but the road stayed empty, and the clock kept moving. The rain picked up again, heavier now, tapping against the truck's roof in uneven rhythms. David adjusted the thermal blanket so it covered more of Lily's upper body, then pulled his jacket tighter around his own shoulders. He didn't care about the cold, but he needed to stay sharp. Lily's breathing had shifted, shallower, more fatigued. The adrenaline that carried her through the first stretch had worn off. Now came the hard part. "You still with me?" he asked. She nodded, but barely. "Good. Keep talking to me. Anything you want." She swallowed and winced as the movement sent a tremor of pain through her legs. "Can you maybe tell me what you're doing? Like what's happening around me? I can't see much." "Sure," he said. "Right now it's just us, road's quiet, rain's coming down steady. I can see your airbags, the dash, some broken glass. Nothing's leaking except coolant. You're stable for the moment." "Okay," she exhaled slowly. "I just need to know I'm not trapped alone in the dark." "You're not," he said, squeezing her hand. "You've got me." Another flash of headlights lit the roadway. A minivan slowed, hesitated, then kept going. Not unusual. People didn't want to interfere when they saw turnout gear and lights on the scene. But every retreating set of taillights made the stretch of road feel longer, emptier. Lily shifted a tiny bit, grimacing. "My back hurts." "Yeah, that position you're in puts a lot of pressure on everything. Try to keep your breathing slow, in through your nose if you can." She tried. The inhale shook. "Good. Just like that." He checked her pulse again, fast, thready, but present. He didn't like the pallor in her face, though, or the way her forehead glistened with cold sweat. "How far away are they?" she asked. He didn't sugarcoat it. "Longer than I'd like. They'll get here, but the pileup has them tied up." She bit her lip. "I can't feel parts of my legs anymore." "That's the pressure from the dashboard," he said. "It's not your fault. We're not going to try to move you until we have tools. Could make things worse. You're doing the right thing by staying as still as you can." She nodded, tears slipping from the corners of her eyes. "I keep thinking, what if something inside is bleeding?" He kept his voice level. "You're conscious, you're talking, and you're breathing on your own. Those are all good signs, just keep listening to me." The wind pushed another cold sheet of mist across the ditch. David shifted again, trying to block some of the spray from reaching her, though he knew it wasn't much help. "Do you have kids?" she asked suddenly, her voice thin. He hesitated. "No, me either," she said. "I always thought, someday. Someday is still there," he said. "Nothing about tonight takes that away." She looked at him carefully, searching his expression for doubt. He kept it steady. A moment later, he heard faint static. Then dispatch came through, barely audible. "Rescue units en route. Heavy delay. Working on alternate routing." That was it. Nothing solid. Lily heard it too. "That doesn't sound good." "It's movement," he said. "That's what matters." She closed her eyes again, and her breathing drifted. He tapped the back of her hand with his thumb. "Hey, eyes open. Don't drift off." She blinked hard, fighting it. "Sorry, it feels like I'm floating." "That's shock trying to creep in," he said. "You have to stay with me. Talk to me. Tell me what you see when you close your eyes." "A parking lot," she whispered. "My shop's parking lot. Early morning. I'm carrying in the first batch of beans." A shaky smile touched her lips. "I always spill a few." He let her talk. It kept her anchored. It kept him focused. Her voice was soft but steady, painting small details about her shop. The stubborn espresso machine, the regular who always forgot his wallet, the chalkboard sign she changed every morning. Then her voice thinned again. "I'm getting dizzy." "You're okay," he said. "Stay with me." His knees were numb now. His lower back screamed. But he didn't shift away. He couldn't risk losing even that inch of connection. She swallowed hard. "My chest feels tight." He listened carefully. Her breaths were fast and shallow. Stress response, pain response. Could be other causes, but he wasn't going there yet. "Slow it down," he said. "Longer exhales, focus on the sound of my voice." She tried. "I'm trying." "I know, and you're doing great." He checked his watch again. 19 minutes since he arrived. 40 minutes could feel like an hour, or a lifetime. A pair of headlights approached from the opposite direction, lower to the ground, moving slower. For the first time all night, he felt a flicker of hope. But as the vehicle drew closer, he saw it wasn't a rescue truck, just a small sedan that gave a wide berth before continuing on. Lily had noticed his shift. Was that them? "No," he said quietly. "Not yet." Her breath hitched. I don't know how much more I can do." He leaned closer, lowering his voice. You can do exactly this. Hold my hand, breathe slow, look right at me. That's all you need to do. She nodded, tears catching in the corners of her eyes again. Don't let go. I'm here, he said. All the way through this. He didn't blink. He didn't move. And the minutes kept dragging forward, heavy and relentless, while the road behind him stayed stubbornly empty. The next few minutes stretched thin, long enough that David felt every second settle in his shoulders. Rain ran off his helmet and pattered onto the gravel. Somewhere in the distance, thunder rumbled, faint but getting closer. Lily's breaths had turned shallow again. Not panicked, just weak. She stared past him at the wet road, eyes unfocused. Stay with me, he said, tapping her hand lightly. Look at me, not the road. She blinked, dragged her gaze back to him. Trying, she whispered. You're doing fine. She swallowed, grimacing at the motion. How long now? 27 minutes, he said. You're doing better than most people would. She tried to smile, but it came out shaky. Does it scare you at all, doing this? He thought about the question. The truth was yes, every call carried some fear. Not panic, but a quiet awareness of everything that could turn the wrong way. But she didn't need that. It keeps me sharp, he said, but I'm right where I need to be. A gust of wind pushed Rain sideways across the ditch. It rattled through the broken window and made Lily flinch. Sorry, he said, shifting to block as much of it as he could. Storm's changing direction. You must be freezing. I've been worse. He tilted his head slightly. You hanging in there? Mostly. She exhaled shakily. Everything feels far away. That's the shock creeping back, he said. Listen to me. Every time you feel yourself getting pulled under, you squeeze my hand. Got it? Yeah. Show me. She squeezed. It wasn't much, but it was something. There you go. Her eyes watered again. She wasn't crying from fear anymore, more from exhaustion. He'd seen that look before. Patients who were fighting their own bodies just to stay awake. Talk to me, he said. Tell me something you haven't told me yet. She cleared her throat weakly. I was going to adopt a dog this month. I already picked one out at the shelter. Little brown thing. Loud bark. Tail that never stops. What's his name? I was gonna call him Birch. Good name. She nodded, eyes slipping half closed. Hey, he said gently. Eyes on me again. She opened them slowly. Sorry, nothing to apologize for. You're doing exactly what you need to. He checked her breathing again. Still quick, but not worsening. He kept an ear out for anything behind him. Nothing. Just the hiss of passing cars and the deep rumble of the storm moving in. 31 minutes. Another stretch of silence passed. Lily winced as a jolt of pain hit her legs. It's getting worse, she whispered. I know. I'm here. He reached in farther, placing his other hand on her forearm. A simple gesture, but it grounded her. She took a shaky breath. You've done this a long time, she said. Yeah. Seen a lot? Plenty. Does it stay with you? The bad ones? He didn't answer right away. The question dug somewhere old. There were calls he still carried. The ones where he'd held someone's hand just like this but couldn't keep them awake. Faces he still remembered. Voices that still echoed. Some of them, he admitted. But I don't bring them here. Not tonight. She studied him, her breathing still tight. Why not? Because right now this is the only call that matters. She closed her eyes for a second, overwhelmed by the weight of that. I don't want to be one you remember for the wrong reason. You won't be, he said firmly. We're getting you out. Lightning flickered far off in the clouds. The wind picked up again. Lily shivered under the blanket. My hands are numb. That's the cold and shock together. He rubbed the back of her hand with his thumb. You're still here, that's what matters. She nodded, small and slow. Minutes ticked by. 35, 36. Then, faint at first, he heard it. A siren. Distant, muffled by the storm, but real. His head came up instantly. Lily saw the change in his expression. That's them, he said. And this time he didn't have to fake the confidence. They're close. Her breathing quickened, half relief, half fear. Oh my God. Hey, he said gently. Stay calm. We're not done yet. They still need to stabilize the truck before they can cut you out. She nodded, still gripping his hand like it was the only solid thing in the world. The sirens grew louder. Another set joined in. Ambulance, maybe a second engine. Few seconds later, Faint red and blue strobes flashed against the wet pavement. "They're turning onto the road," he said. She let out a breath that shook her whole body. "Thank you," she whispered. "Not done yet," he said softly. "Stay with me." The rescue truck pulled into view, lights soaking the mist in red and blue. It slowed, angled, then stopped behind his engine. Doors opened, voices carried, footsteps splashed through puddles. Captain Hale approached from the rear, helmet tilted back, turnout coat dripping. "Dave," he called. "Give me the rundown." David didn't let go of Lily's hand as he spoke. Female driver, early 20s, conscious, trapped under dash. No major external bleeding. Legs pinned, possible fractures. Breathing shallow. Shock starting to settle in. Hale nodded, already signaling to his crew. "All right, let's get the spreaders and cribbing." Lily squeezed his hand weakly. "Don't leave." "I'm not going anywhere," David said. The team moved fast, cribbing under the frame, stabilization struts set, tools powered up. The sound of the hydraulic pump filled the air, loud and mechanical. Lily flinched at the noise. David leaned closer. "They're just getting ready, you're safe." She nodded, holding tight. "Dave," Hale called. "You staying with her during the lift?" "Yeah," he said without hesitation. He shifted closer, bracing himself for the next stage. The waiting was over. Now came the hard part. The hydraulic spreaders bit into the crushed frame with a deep metallic groan. The sound vibrated through the wet ground and up David's knees. Lily tensed instantly. "It's okay," he said, leaning in so she could hear him over the pump. "That noise means the truck is moving away from you, not toward you." She nodded, but her breathing sped up. He kept his grip steady, anchoring her through the noise. Captain Hale crouched beside him. Rain dripped from the brim of his helmet. "We're going to lift the dash about 3 inches on the first push," Hale said. "You watch her face. Any change in breathing, you call it out." "Got it." The crew placed additional cribbing, checking stability. The spreaders engaged again. The truck groaned as the metal slowly separated. Drops of coolant hit the ground in green splatters. Lily's jaw clenched. "It's pulling," she whispered, a tremor in her voice. "That's pressure releasing," David said. "You're doing great. Stay with me." The spreaders paused. One of the firefighters adjusted position, then signaled the operator again. Another slow lift. Another groan. The dashboard rose just enough to release some compression on her legs. Lily gasped as blood flow returned. Not pain relief, more like a wave of fire rushing into numb limbs. Her body shook. "It burns," she said, voice cracking. "I know," he said. "That's normal. It's good. It means your legs are still talking to you." She held his hand like she was trying not to slip off a cliff. Hale leaned in. "We've got the dash high enough for a clean cut. Dave, keep her eyes on you. We're powering up the saw." The reciprocating saw shrieked to life a moment later, loud enough to rattle the metal around them. Sparks flicked from the frame as the blade bit through steel. Rain sizzled on the hot metal. Lily's entire body trembled. I can't." "Yes, you can," he said firmly. "Look at me, not the tools. Right here." She locked onto him, jaw trembling. "That's it, keep breathing." The saw screamed. The blade chewed through the last section of the crumpled dash brace. A thin piece of metal pinged off into the ditch. One firefighter grabbed it with gloved hands and tossed it aside. "Brace is gone," someone called. "Moving to pedal box." The saw roared again. Every sound seemed too loud, too sharp. Rain hammered the truck's roof. The saw drowned out her soft breaths. David leaned in until her forehead almost touched his helmet. "You're safe," he said. "Nothing's going to collapse. They've got it all locked down." Her hand slipped for half a second. He caught it and tightened his grip. "Don't drift," he said quietly. "Stay with me." "I'm trying," she whispered. "Good. That's all you need to do." The saw stopped. Tools clanked as they were switched out. A firefighter slid a cutter in at a new angle. Hale called out measurements, checking stability again. "Then no pedals free," someone shouted. Lily gasped sharply. Relief and pain hit at the same time. The crew repositioned, lifting the dash 1 final inch. Enough for extraction. Hale turned to him. "We're ready to pull her. Dave, you staying hands-on?" "Yeah." "All right. On my signal." A backboard slid into position through the passenger side. Another set of hands reached in carefully, controlling her spine. The rain poured harder, bouncing off helmets, coats, and the crushed metal of the truck. Mud pooled under David's boots. Hale knelt beside him. "Lily, we're going to pull you straight back, slow and steady. You're gonna feel movement." She nodded, tears slipping down her temples. "You stay right with me," David said. "Keep breathing." Hale signaled. They pulled. Lily cried out, not loud, but enough that David felt it in his chest. The shift of her legs, the release of pressure, the pain flaring bright as they moved her through the narrow gap. He kept his hand on hers, moving with her, matching her pace. "Halfway," Hale said. "Hang on," David whispered. She squeezed harder, breath ragged. "Almost there," he said. "One more pull," and she was out. The crew lowered her gently onto the backboard. A medic immediately moved in, securing her head, checking her airway, assessing her legs. Another firefighter draped a dry blanket over her shoulders. David stayed beside her until she looked up at him through wet eyelashes. "You did it," she whispered. "No," he said softly. "You did." Her face crumpled, part relief, part exhaustion. Medics lifted the backboard and carried her toward the waiting ambulance. The rain eased slightly, as if the storm itself had taken a breath. As they loaded her in, Lily reached out again. David stepped forward and took her hand one last time. "Thank you," she said. He nodded. "You get some rest now. They'll take it from here." Her fingers loosened as the doors closed. The ambulance pulled away a moment later, red lights fading down the wet road. David stood in the rain, letting the tension finally drain from his shoulders. His gloves trembled slightly, not from cold, from the 40 minutes he'd spent holding someone else together while keeping himself steady. Captain Hale walked up beside him. "You good?" "Yeah," David said quietly. "I'm good." The storm rolled on. The road went quiet again, and the night moved forward.